This is Rooted Cosmic Soul, sacrificing the patriarchy from a broom closet in the here and the there, offering rememberings in times of chaos and bullshit. So I've been doing work that people who don't know any better, who can't think beyond information that's fed to them, would call DEI for the last 10 years. I stopped calling it that about 5 years ago because I think that it put it in a box that it didn't belong in, and it couldn't really be boxed anyway. And what my business partner and I, at the time, we called it transmuting white supremacy and patriarchy. This idea of taking an energy that is meant to disconnect, to detach, to bind, to control, and transmuting it into an energy that allows us to connect to others, to the earth, to ourselves. And we did that for about 5 years, give or take a year. And then I really lived in that world. I'm the type of energy being that in order for me to recommend something to someone, I need to have lived it, done it, do it. But also that work came out of people asking myself and my cis white middle class woman friend and business partner how it was that she and I could get along, right? I identify as cis lesbian black working class woman. So within the construct, in those identity labels, there's so many different ways in which we were not supposed to connect with each other. And when we did connect, it was very, meant to be very superficial and not real, tangible, not from our authentic selves. And she and I did and do, we're still very good friends, connect. And we started looking at how did we do that. In order to do that, we had to look at the why were we making choices that a vast number of people, particularly Americans or folks in Western societies, were not necessarily engaging, not moving in this way. And we didn't think of it as we were better than others. It was just kind of like, oh, interesting, like it's a different choice. And when we started looking at it, it was this inward gaze, and that's what I'm gonna offer today. This need, well, in my opinion, that's what is necessary for the times that we're in. That individuals start looking inward of how am I moving in the world? What choices am I making around my definitions, beliefs, and behaviors of who I am and how I want to be with myself, with the planet, and with others. And so I've been doing that work. I've been doing that work for a while, right? Some folks call it self-inquiry, right? So it's like the work of self-inquiry, self-help work. It's like, yes, I am that person who loves self-help books. Usually they have a slant towards something of the divine feminine or feminist, womanist kind of bend, but definitely often seeking how to grow, how to develop more. And what I've learned in doing this work with others is the real serious fear of looking inward. And, the last episode I talked about compassion and kindness, and I really do hold a lot of compassion and kindness for folks around this because I see it. The resistance to turning the view inward. It's like a lot of people want everyone else to change, right? It's like I'll go in and do a talk and I have to remind people, if you're sitting here thinking so-and-so needs to hear this, you're not being very present. And if so-and-so really needed to hear it, so-and-so will eventually hear it and be in the room, but you're in the room right now. Whether that's the virtual room or the room. Like, this is for you. You need to hear this. And it's this, I was gonna say, what are you afraid of? What is that fear of looking inward? And I think it's a great question. Like, that's a question that it's going to be different for each of us. It's definitely a question that I've asked. I've asked in the past. I probably will ask again. But in these times in particular, these really dangerous, precarious times when a lot of energy is being put on forcing us to look outward. And in these times, I mean, like, for the past 1,000 years, this false premise that an outward gaze and powering over others, dictating to others how to live, is what's going to create a more balanced and harmonized world. I'm offering to you that that's a lie, and that the power actually resides in looking inward. Like, real deep, serious power resides looking inward. That's why so much of the construct of white supremacy, patriarchy, capitalism is an outward gaze. It's about what everybody else is doing. It's about validation from others outside of myself. It's about dismissing earth. Earth is me. So I'm dismissing earth. I'm not looking inward. And so the fear that we have of it is because it's been made this foreign thing. It's been made this feminine thing. It's what weak people do, wussies do. Just be strong. Tell people what to do. Power over them. That's what is successful. And so I paused there because I sensed my energy got really hot there. Got a little bit more forceful than I meant to be, but that's that power over energy, right? You start paying attention to it. It's like, oof, got to be really conscious of it. So I'm not here to tell anyone what to do or how to do it. I'm here to just share some ideas I think can be helpful in these times, as I believe we are in a massive paradigm shift, and that's why shit is bad. Shit's gonna get worse. Possibly, actually, who knows? Like, Neptune is coming in full force, and I do believe I am of the strain of humans who believe, like, the way the planets are moving and what Earth is doing, all these earthquakes and volcano eruptions, something is happening that is beyond our comprehension and beyond our control. And while that's all happening, it would behoove us to confront the fear of looking inward, because that looking inward is what's going to create some really beautiful insights and connection with ourselves, with others, and lay seeds for a new paradigm, for a reality in which powering over harm, hate, is not glorified, is not the predominant energies. I look at my friends who have really, really young children, like, 2 and under. I mean, you could go older than that still, but really my friends who have kids 2 and under, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep looking inward, because they deserve that I plant some seeds that are better than the seeds left for me. And then also, like, let's be real, there's still even for the way that I think has been paved. So it's not like I'm the first one to think like this. No, there's been a lot of beautiful people living in compassion and grace and offering their knowledge and understanding for millennia. We've just been outnumbered. I think we're still a little outnumbered, but every 20,000 years or so there's a flood. So maybe we're headed toward that flood season. And I like to think that those of us who are looking inward, who confront that fear of self-inquiry, will prevail and be the ones who plant the seeds for the next evolutionary reality for humans. So my offering is, now's a really good time to confront fear. If you're not into self-inquiry, why? What do you need? What supports do you need to step into? Getting to know you better, because you're worth it. I don't even know you. I don't know who's listening to this, but I do know that you're worth it. You are worthy, perfect, and whole, exactly as you are, and exactly as you are not, simply by breath. This is Rooted Cosmic Soul, sacrificing the patriarchy from a broom closet. The energy here stays here. The energy there stays there. I'll sense you later. Return when moved to do so. Same Bruja time, same Bruja channel.